annals of scientific history, few individuals have left as indelible a mark as J. Robert Oppenheimer. From his brilliant mind helping to shape the course of World War II to the high-stakes security clearance hearing in 1954, Oppenheimer's journey is one of extraordinary highs and lows. J. Robert Oppenheimer's story begins in 1904 in New York City. From an early age, his insatiable curiosity set him on a path of academic excellence. His formative years were influenced by his travels through Europe, where he soaked in the cultural and intellectual atmosphere that would shape his worldview. During his travels, Oppenheimer was to encounter some of the great scientific minds of his time. These names included Niels Bohr, Max Born, and Werner Heisenberg, who would go on to lead the Nazis' atomic project. After returning to the United States, Oppenheimer's academic prowess led him to Stanford University, where he immersed himself in theoretical physics. Here he laid the groundwork for his later contributions to the world of science, and it was during this time that his reputation as a brilliant thinker began to take root. During his time in Stanford, Oppie first became entangled with communist ideology that would come back to haunt him. The friendships and relationships that he built with those who were members of the party would be used to bash Oppenheimer's character in years to come. His brother, Frank, joined the Communist Party at this time, although he later left. Robert also befriended Auchin Chevalier, a French lecturer at Stanford. This friendship was to cause him much duress in the 1954 AEC security clearance hearings. The outbreak of World War II saw Oppenheimer thrust into the heart of scientific and military collaboration. In 1942, he was recruited to the Manhattan Project. In 1943, he was chosen to lead the Los Alamos Laboratory in New Mexico by General Leslie Groves. This was the epicenter of the top-secret Manhattan Project. Here, he led the American scientific community in a race against the Nazis to create the first atomic bomb. Scientists from all corners of America united at Los Alamos to aid in the creation of the ultimate weapon. Edward Teller, who would go on to play a leading role in the development of the hydrogen bomb, Robert Serber, Norris Bradbury, Emilio Segre, and Klaus Fuchs were just some of the famous names at Los Alamos. With the vast amount of people on site, the military were conscious of the need to keep information on a need-to-know basis. They feared information leaking to their Soviet allies. Oppenheimer tried to convince Groves that letting the Soviets in on the advances would allow for the proper management of nuclear weapons. Also, he tried to remind Groves that they were at war with Nazis, not the Soviets. What was once an alien concept began to make perfect sense to this group of scientists. They managed to trap an exorbitant amount of energy into the equivalent of a jar. In the process, creating the most deadly weapon the planet had ever seen. The plutonium implosion device, under the codename Trinity, was successfully tested on July 16, 1945, after much pressure from the military. It is worth noting that at this point, U.S. President Harry S. Truman had the opportunity to present the leader of the USSR, Joseph Stalin, with information about the bomb at the Yalta Conference. He chose not to. Shortly thereafter, on August 6th and 9th, the U.S. military detonated 2 atomic bombs over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, thus bringing an end to the conflict in World War II. Over the course of their work, many scientists became disenchanted with the working conditions in Los Alamos. The living situation in the middle of the New Mexico desert, the need to get permission to leave to visit family or friends elsewhere in the country, and of course, the ethical debate over the use of the bomb on the Japanese, particularly after the Nazis had already been defeated in Europe. Many saw a dark future ahead if the US was the only nation with access to a nuclear arsenal. With the end of World War II came a complex blend of triumph and reflection. The atomic bomb, developed under Oppenheimer's direction, played a pivotal role in hastening the war's conclusion. This achievement elevated him to hero status, celebrated for his contributions to global peace. Despite gracing the cover of Time magazine, Oppenheimer struggled to digest the fact that he had played a role in creating the weapon. Having been recounted with tales of the devastation the weapon had caused, he was steadfast in his belief that the pursuit of a greater nuclear arsenal should not be the aim of the U.S. government. The euphoria of victory gave way to suspicion and controversy. Oppenheimer's political affiliations and associations with left-wing intellectuals led to his discrediting during the height of the Cold War. Accused of security breaches, his loyalty was questioned, leading to a security clearance hearing that would forever alter his legacy. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, the fear of Nazism in the USA had long since ceased. Fear of communism had very much taken its place. The Red Scare allowed for political figures like Joe McCarthy to build careers out of communist fear-mongering. This, The second Red Scare in American history was preoccupied with the perception that national or foreign communists were infiltrating or subverting American society. During this period, Oppenheimer's past associations with known communists caught up with him. In 1954, Oppenheimer faced a security hearing launched by the Atomic Energy Commission and its head Louis Strauss. The proceedings were initiated after Oppenheimer refused to voluntarily give up his security clearance while working as an atomic weapons consultant for the government under a contract due to expire at the end of June 1954. Several of his colleagues testified at the hearings, including Teller, who claimed that Oppenheimer was a security risk. At the hearing, his friendship with Hawk and Chevalier was used against Oppenheimer. Here, an incident which occurred in 1943 was used to bait Oppenheimer as a communist sympathizer. At a family dinner, whilst Chevalier and Oppenheimer were speaking in private, Chevalier let it be known that he could pass necessary information along the line to a known Soviet conspirator, George Eltonton. Oppenheimer immediately refused. His failure to name his friend to U.S. security agents in an effort to protect him came back to bite him, particularly when it was viewed in the hostile atmosphere of the Red Scare. As a result of the 2-1 decision of the hearing's 3 judges, he was stripped of his security clearance. The loss of his security clearance ended Oppenheimer's role in the government and policy. Robert Oppenheimer's final years were marked by a mixture of professional and personal struggles. Despite the setbacks, he was eventually able to continue his work in academia, leaving an indelible mark on the world of theoretical physics. The move back into the field was brought about by his winning of the Enrico Fermi Award, which was chosen by JFK and granted by Lyndon Johnson a week after Kennedy's death. Ironically, he was recommended for the award by former winner Edward Teller, a former ally who had sided against Oppenheimer in the security hearing. Teller had recommended Oppenheimer for the award in an effort to heal the rift in their relationship. Oppenheimer was diagnosed with throat cancer in 1965, probably due to his chain smoking. His death in 1967 marked the end of an era, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire and provoke thought. The life of Robert Oppenheimer is a testament to the complexity of human achievement and the intersection of science, politics, and morality. From the innocence of childhood to the controversies of adulthood, his journey reminds us of the ethical dilemmas that can accompany scientific advancement. As we reflect on his life, we are challenged to consider the implications of our own actions in a rapidly changing world. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Robert Oppenheimer's life and legacy. His story serves as a cautionary tale and an inspiration for those who strive to push the boundaries of human understanding. Drop a comment below, like the video, and subscribe for more. See you soon.